Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Alan Brazil shares what Aaron Ramsdale could do to force Arsenal to sell him. Pundit Alan Brazil has now given his thoughts on Aaron Ramsdale's ongoing struggles at Arsenal, a player once again watching from the sidelines. Brazil was discussing the situation on talkSPORT this morning and initially suggested that Manchester United should come in for Ramsdale. And when considering the possibility of Arsenal letting their keeper leave, Brazil was confident that he could force an exit if he wished. Speaking with Gabriel Jesus, Brazil suggested that Ramsdale would hold the power to decide his Arsenal future. He said, I think if Ramsdale wants to go, he will get a move. Agbonlahor replied, what if you think he but his foot down and makes it? Brazil becomes if he starts upsetting the dressing room and upsetting this, they will get rid of him surely. And whilst the Pundit is probably right in that view, it seems unlikely that Ramsdale would cause such a fuss. Despite his tricky situation being replaced, Ramsdale has remained a brilliant professional, testament to his character, and although many do consider it to be, the door isn't completely closed on his first team chances. All that being said, it would certainly be interesting to see how Arsenal did respond if they received an offer in January. The club will no doubt demand a considerable fee for their England international if they did decide to sell, but a departure mid-season could prove very disruptive, one that would look incredibly ill thought were David Raya ever to get injured. It's a difficult balancing act, but surely one that Mikel Arteta must have envisioned. Although he wouldn't have intended to cause any distress, Arteta clearly sought an upgrade on Ramsdale, a keeper who wouldn't expect to remain as a number 2, and should they decide to let him leave, Arsenal would probably have to stomach the idea of strengthening a rival. Although recently linked with a loan to a lower half side, Ramsdale would surely remain at a club around the top 6. One positive of a mid-season departure would be the funds raised, and Gabi Agbonlahor certainly has a plan for how Arsenal could use them. Contract extension talks progressing well for key Arsenal player. Arsenal are reportedly in talks with defender Ben White for a new contract, and discussions are progressing well, sparking optimism that a deal will be reached per the Standard. White, who joined Arsenal from Brighton in the summer of 2021 for £50 million, has impressed with his performances for the club. Despite his current contract running until 2026, Arsenal has begun talks with the 26-year-old to potentially extend his deal, recognizing and rewarding his notable performances. The club has been proactive in securing new contracts for key players like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Martin Odegaard, and William Saliba in the past. Initially signed as a centre-back from Brighton, Ben White has showcased his versatility when Mikel Arteta deployed him at right-back last season, a move prompted by William Saliba's return from a 3-year loan spell. White has excelled in this new role for Arsenal. The 26-year-old has developed a strong partnership with Saka down Arsenal's right-hand side, and they will want to keep that duo together for years to come. White has been a big reason why Arsenal have conceded the least goals in the Premier League this campaign, incidentally helping them keep 6 clean sheets thus far, the most out of any other team in the division. Kai Havertz shares what he and Declan Rice text each other before signing for Arsenal. Kai Havertz and Declan Rice were two of Arsenal's biggest signings this summer. Both players arrived in North London for huge fees, and while it has taken some time for Havertz, they both now seem to have settled very well at their new club. Havertz and Rice have already struck up something of a relationship, and speaking to the Football Daily YouTube channel, Havertz has now shared that he and Rice were actually messaging each other before their respective moves to the Emirates to get updates on either player's transfer. Havertz shared some insight into his conversations with Rice. He said, "For sure no. I knew him already before. We met up once before we both came to Arsenal, and we were both messaging before we came to Arsenal saying, what's going on? What's going on? He is a very good guy on the pitch as well. Every week he is showing on the pitch what he can do. He is an important player for us and a very funny guy. It's nice to hear that Rice and Havertz started chatting to each other before they even arrived at Arsenal, as it allowed them to have a friendly face in the building when they eventually signed. Of course, joining a new club can be a daunting task, particularly when you don't know anyone, but Rice and Havertz will have felt close from day one due to the fact it sounds as though they were exchanging messages throughout the summer. These two have taken some time to gel on the pitch, but after a recent improvement from Havertz, we can only hope that these two grow into one of the best midfield pairings in the league. Kai Havertz says he feels so lucky to be playing with £45 million Arsenal player. Arsenal's Kai Havertz has played with some brilliant strikers during his career. The likes of Thomas Muller, Tammy Abraham, and Romelu Lukaku have all been teammates of Havertz at one point or another, but according to the German, the best striker he has ever played with is Gabriel Jesus. Speaking on the Football Daily YouTube channel, Havertz was asked if Jesus was the best attacker he ever played with, and he agreed that the Brazilian is the best of the bunch. Havertz says that he is known for a long time that Jesus was a fantastic player, but now that he is seeing it every single day on the training ground, he further acknowledges just how lucky he is to be playing with a striker of this caliber. He said, I think I have to say he is the best. I knew this before as well, but now I see it in every training session. It's an honor to play with the players like this. You saw him against Sevilla. What he did on the pitch was amazing, but he is one of these players who can turn a game around himself, and yeah, I think he is the best. Gabriel Jesus is a real player's player. Fans and pundits may not be his biggest fans due to the fact he is not the most prolific striker on the planet, but he makes the game so much easier for his teammates with his smart play, movement, and intelligence on the pitch. Jesus does so much that many of us don't even notice, and as Havertz says, he is one of the best strikers around. Jesus is a truly fantastic striker, and perhaps Arsenal fans should take some more time to appreciate just how lucky they are to have the Brazilian leading their line. Arsenal guaranteed to make move for £69 million elite talent in 2024. Arsenal have been linked with Sporting Lisbon defender Osimhen Diomande in recent months. For instance, record claimed in summer that the Gunners had got in touch over a potential move for the 19-year-old. Now, with the January transfer window looming, speculation linking Arsenal with Diomande is doing the rounds once again. The Portuguese outlet has reported that the Gunners have guaranteed to Sporting that they will return for the defender in 2024. Arsenal apparently tried their luck with a €35 million bid in summer, but the player reportedly boasts an €80 million release clause. Sporting aren't expected to sell him for much less than that, at least in the January transfer window, added the report. As well as Arsenal, Real Madrid are also in pole position to sign Diomande and teammate Gonzalo Inacio. Diomande would be a great shoot for Arsenal, as he has been deemed one of the best young players in the world. For instance, the Scouted 50, which lists the next 50 breakout talents to watch across this new season, features the reported Gunners target at number 5. Meanwhile, Football Talent Scout deemed him one of the most exciting young talents in Europe earlier this year. His main strengths are his physicality, his vision, and his speed, added the scouting report. If Diomande continues on his trajectory, he could well be the talk of the 2024 windows, and Arsenal should continue to feature prominently on the rumour mill. Arsenal now ready to make an offer to title-winning midfielder. Transfer could happen in January. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are interested in signing Fabian Ruiz from Paris Saint-Germain in the January transfer window. That's according to CMW, which has noted Arsenal's immediate plan regarding Ruiz. So, what has been reported about Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Fabian Ruiz? Let's take a look. Well, according to CMW, Arsenal are among the clubs who are keen on signing Fabian Ruiz from Paris Saint-Germain. The report in the Italian news outlet has noted that Arsenal greatly appreciate the former Napoli midfielder and are ready to make an offer to him. Juventus are also interested in Ruiz as well, but Arsenal could make an offer to him immediately in January. Newcastle United have also been linked with the 27-year-old, while West Ham wanted to sign him previously. Ruiz won the League One title with PSG last season. In my opinion, Fabian Ruiz could replace Thomas Partey at Arsenal. The Spain international plays as a central midfielder, and he could take the place of the Ghanaian in the team. Partey has been linked with moves away from Arsenal. Toto Juve has claimed that Juventus want to sign the defensive midfielder. Steven Gerrard's Al Ittifaq also hold an interest in him. Ruiz is 27 now and is at the top of his game at the moment. I believe that the Spain international would be able to make an immediate impact on the team at Arsenal. It will be interesting to see if PSG sell the former Napoli star in the middle of the season. The 27-year-old has scored one goal and given two assists in six starts and six substitute appearances in League One this season. He has also made one start and two substitute appearances in the UEFA Champions League this campaign. David Ornstein cannot see unbelievable player joining Arsenal in January now. David Ornstein has claimed that he doesn't think Arsenal will be able to sign Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa in January. The Gunners are expected to be on the market for a new midfielder in the winter window. They have been linked with quite a few names, but none more than Villa star Luiz. Ornstein, however, cannot see this deal going through. Aston Villa star Douglas Luiz has been on Arsenal's radar for a long time. The Gunners pushed really hard to sign him on deadline day in last year's summer transfer window. They tabled multiple bids, but Villa stood their ground and refused to budge. Luiz then signed a new long-term deal at Villa and has been one of their most important players. He is a key part of Unai Emery's side, but Arsenal are said to have made him their priority target in the winter window. Ornstein, however, says he doesn't think this move will happen. In his Q&A on The Athletic, when a fan asked if Luiz will join Arsenal in January, Ornstein said, "I don't think so. There is admiration for him among some at Arsenal, hence them trying to sign him the summer before last, but I don't think that view is shared by everyone. More importantly, the view at Aston Villa has been clear, no chance." Arsenal's chances of signing Douglas Luiz are becoming slimmer every day. The Brazilian is having an amazing season at Villa. Unai Emery depends on his brilliance in the middle of the park, and the fact that the Villains are doing so well in Europe as well in the Premier League puts them in a strong position. The only way Arsenal can sign the unbelievable Luiz is if they agree to pay a ridiculous amount of money to convince Villa. That is extremely unlikely after how much they spent in the summer transfer window. Pundit tells £50 million player to join Arsenal instead of Chelsea. Arsenal continue to be linked with the new strikers for January. The Gunners have been linked with the likes of Ivan Toney and Dusan Vlahovic as of late, but perhaps the most intriguing name on the Gunners' shortlist is Victor Osimhen. The Nigerian is said to be a target for Arsenal, and speaking on ESPN, Mikalik has claimed that the Napoli striker should be prioritizing a move to the Emirates ahead of a move to Chelsea. Osimhen has been more strongly linked with a move to Stamford Bridge, but according to Mikalik, a move to Arsenal would make more sense due to Mikel Arteta's style of play and how advanced they are in their project. He said, "I think they could. Victor Osimhen will be linked with everyone, Chelsea for sure, If I had a choice, I'd go to Arsenal because the project is way ahead. He is coming from a good team that just won the league with Napoli. The perfect system for him with the wide game, beautiful with Martinelli and Saka. He is great on the break, and Arsenal are from time to time a transitional team when they need to be. If they get Osimhen, it sends a message to everybody that this Arsenal team will be up there for years to come. If I were Osimhen, assume I had the choice between Chelsea and Arsenal, I wouldn't even think twice. If I am Arsenal, I'd spend any amount of money I have to get him. As much as a move to Arsenal would make sense for Osimhen, at the end of the day, money talks in football. Chelsea are the big spenders in the Premier League, and when you are a club like Arsenal, who have just spent £200 million in a single transfer window, it's hard to keep up with Todd Bowley's side. In our view, a move to Arsenal would make more sense for Osimhen from a footballing perspective, but due to the finances involved, you'd have to make Chelsea favourites for his signature. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.